to put all the laws of physics. But when you go to this larger pond, this pond of hyperspace, then all the laws of physics just fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. I like to think of a crystal. Let's say a crystal, a beautiful crystal, shatters and lands on a tabletop. And they're little insect-like flatlanders living on this tabletop. And they say, let us reassemble the crystal. Well, they bring it together, and then they have one crystal. It's called the quantum theory. They assemble other pieces of the crystal. It's called relativity, theory of space-time. But then they try to bring these two chunks together, and they cannot. No matter how they bring these chunks together, they cannot. And then one day, someone says, let us go to the world of up. Let us move one crystal up, and then fit it into the third dimension, and it will create a beautiful unified crystal. That's where we are today, we think. We live in a three-dimensional world. You see, in three dimensions, little pieces of this unified field theory. We bring them together. Now we have the theory of the quantum theory, the theory of the small, the theory of atoms. We have the theory of Einstein, the theory of space, time, relativity, but they don't fit together until you go into hyperspace, and then they fit together beautifully.
So when they fit together, what does that mean? We now learn that we need 10 or 11 dimensions, only 3 of which, or 4 if you include time, that we have. And so there's as many as 6 smaller dimensions. And what's happening in those dimensions? Why do you need 6 in string theory?
Well, today we see the world as is very broken. We see pieces of it. But at the beginning of time, when the universe was first created, that's when the crystal existed in its perfect form. We call it the superforce. A single superforce held this crystal together, but then we have pieces. We see the electromagnetic scattered universe of today. When you look around you and you see the different forces, mountains, clouds, planets, it's broken. We live in a horribly broken world. But at the instant of creation, there was perfection. There was perfection in a higher dimension. This perfection cannot exist in 3 dimensions. Now, some people say, well, why 10? Why 11? Well, it turns out that there are certain magic numbers in mathematics, numbers which have spectacular properties. It turns out that if you go to a 13-dimensional universe, a 15-dimensional universe, it's unstable. Particles would prefer to collapse down to 10 or 11 dimensions because the mathematics shows that self-consistency is important. They're unstable. Universes in 29 dimensions are simply unstable, right? So that the universe we see around us really is all around you, in your body, in your living room.